So this guy named Orphe is really mad at me after I posted that whole Darkseid created the Perpetua thing and the cosmic armor is the strongest thing because the author just came out in an AMA yesterday or 2 days ago or whenever that was and confirmed all of this stuff. So I have been receiving so many messages about this and watching versus battles and Comic Vine and people on TikTok and YouTube absolutely lose their mind over being wrong and trying to justify this in funny ways. I wish I could show you some of them, but a lot of them are not safe for work and pretty gross. A lot of the racist remarks coming back at me for being Romani is just awful, and it seems like that's the target thing to reply with over all of this, over finding out that I was right this entire time, is just be racist towards Mike. And whatever at this point, it doesn't matter. So Orphe here is really mad at me, and he thinks that I'm making up all of this stuff, but it's clear that he has not read DCKO, where it's revealed that Darkseid planted this Omega energy in Earth Zero. And he did it when it was created, when it was first created. And he's been leeching power off of it for the entire time. And my argument for the last, 8 or 9 years or something like that, whenever Metal first came out, was that Darkseid is leeching power after he made the Perpetua multiverse. He's trying to accumulate his true form again. And you saw in Justice League Incarnate and Dark Crisis that Darkseid got his true form back, and oh my god, he got stepped on by the empty hand. So why is Darkseid now in DCKO all of a sudden has his true form back again, and it's completely different from the other true form that we saw during Dark Crisis and Incarnate? Well, that's because that was a fake avatar of Darkseid. It wasn't the true avatar. This could be the new avatar in the DCKO, and the story goes that Alpheus the Forger Monitor, who is the son of Perpetua, finds out that Darkseid seeded the Earth Zero continuity with Omega energy when it was first created. And he's not talking about the absolute universe. He's not talking about the one in the orrery. He's talking about the one that they're currently in, and that is the Perpetuaverse Earth Zero. So anybody who says otherwise, that Darkseid didn't create this, is just besides themselves at this point and reaching for straws and being racist against me and saying terrible things and disparaging me. And it's fine. I don't really mind that. It doesn't bother me too much. But the point here is that Darkseid did seed Earth Zero, and that's why back in Justice League 22, Mar-Novu and Alpheus were talking about Earth Zero, the prime universe, and why this Earth was there. Why is the Earth there? Nobody knows why. It's in the center. Why is it there? I didn't make it. It's not my mom's work. It's not my work. Well, who made it? Well, now we know. Darkseid made it. He made this entire thing, and he planted this Omega energy inside of it, and he's been stealing power from it ever since, and now he finally has his ultimate goal fixed, and he's got his true form back, whatever this new form is. It's his ultimate form, and he's untouchable, and there's nothing anybody can do. And even Alpheus is like, oh my god, we're screwed, we gotta figure this out. So let's read some of the scans that pertain to all of this. So Earth Zero, this is not from the KO series, this is from before with Bones. This is from the Dark Crisis and the Death Metal era, and someone killed him for it. This was not the deal, Bones. I told you I would help investigate the truth about the changes to our reality, influences on our world from the multiverse. That's what we're doing, Cameron. You saw how dangerous the multiverse is firsthand. This is Bones way back during Death Metal, who was talking about all this stuff. He's witnessing problems, and then Psycho Pirate and his dad come around and are saying they hid the truth from everybody. My world was the original Earth 2, the one before the first big crisis. When the multiverse was recreated, my Earth 2 no longer existed, replaced by a brand new fancy one. So again, Psycho Pirate and his local family were the only ones who figured this out, and Bones was figuring it out in the process. What did you do? I made a deal. If I gave Darkseid sacrifices from our world, he would keep Earth Zero safe from the coming crisis. So you gave him heroes? There are some people from different worlds that have multiversal energy left inside of them. When the multiverse is put back together, some people retain that energy inside of them. It can be exploited. That is what Darkseid wanted. Again, in the older era, they're explaining to you that Darkseid did all of this, and people were sacrificing their energy to Darkseid to save Earth Zero from the incoming crisis, which was the Perpetua crisis at the time, and the Great Darkness looming right behind it. Because you were like me. You didn't start on Earth 0. You're both from the original Earth 2. You were erased before. Forgotten. I thought no one would notice you were gone again. So, all of that back in the older series, okay? It's hilarious that it was explained back then and alluded to. Now, this is from DCKO. From that moment on, he has sought to turn the Earth's reality's greatest source of alpha energy into a new apocalypse. And so, when he formed his new universe, he placed a heart of apocalypse at its primordial Earth center. All Omega energy in that realm flows to him, making him absolute. This is not about the absolute universe. Alpheus here, the Forger Monitor, is talking about Earth 0 that they're currently on. And the plot here tells you that they have to go to the center of this Earth, not in the absolute version of Earth 0, but the one they're currently in that Darkseid has made. Let's go back and read it again. And so when he formed his new universe, he placed a Heart of Apocalypse at its primordial Earth center. So hold on. If there's a Heart of Apocalypse forming at the center of our Earth right now, could we use it to transform one of us into something like him, a King Omega? So listen, they just told you, they just explained to you that Darkseid made this entire universe that Earth 0 is in, as well as Earth 0, and he planted it with his Omega energy so he could steal energy from it. And now they have to go to the core and find the remnants of that energy and try to enact their own King Omega to fight Darkseid. Everything was in the comic books. They literally tell you that Darkseid made Earth 0 and the universe it's currently in, and it has nothing to do with the Absolute. They are not currently in the Absolute. They're in the Perpetuaverse, multiverse Earth 0. Case closed. They literally tell you. Let's read it again. And so, when he formed his new universe, he placed the Heart of Apocalypse at its primordial Earth's center. All Omega energy in that realm flows to him, making him absolute. Hold on, if there's a Heart of Apocalypse forming at the center of our Earth right now, could we use it to transform one of us into something like him? Want to read it again? Heart of Apocalypse forming at the center of our Earth right now. And Darkseid made that universe. Are you done yet? Are you done yet?